The air in our living room felt heavy, thick with the kind of silence that screams louder than words ever could. I stood by the window, staring at the rain-slicked street outside, my reflection a ghost in the glass. My hands trembled, clutching the phone that had just shattered 10 years of marriage into 1,000 jagged pieces. A single text message, glowing in the dark of our shared life, had undone everything. Meet me tonight. Same place. Don't tell him. It wasn't meant for me, but there it was staring up from my wife's phone, sent to a number I didn't recognize. Lydia and I had built something real. Or so I thought. We met in college, two kids too stubborn to admit we were scared of the future. She'd laugh at my terrible cooking, and I'd tease her for leaving books open-faced on every surface. We'd survived late-night arguments, job losses, and the quiet ache of a miscarriage that left us clinging to each other in the dark. But this was a knife in the ribs, twisting with every breath. I didn't confront her right away. Maybe it was cowardice, or maybe I needed to understand the depth of the lie before I could face her. The text had come in while she was in the shower, her phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. I'd picked it up, thinking it was mine. Our cases were identical, a silly couple's quirk. But the message wasn't for me. It was for her, from someone named Jay. My stomach churned as I scrolled up. Each message a fresh wound. Miss you. Can't wait to see you. You make me feel alive. The words burned into my brain, each one a betrayal of the vows we'd made under a summer sky. I put the phone down before she came out, her hair damp and her smile so familiar it hurt. You okay, Matt? She asked, tilting her head the way she always did when she sensed something off. I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. How could she stand there, wrapped in a towel, acting like the world hadn't just cracked open? I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but instead I said, just tired. Long day. She kissed my cheek, and I flinched, hating how her touch still warmed me. That night, I barely slept. My mind raced, piecing together clues I'd ignored. The late nights at work, the sudden gym obsession, the way she'd started locking her phone. I'd chalked it up to stress, to her new promotion, to anything but this. By morning, I was a wreck, my eyes bloodshot and my heart a raw, pulsing wound. I needed proof, something concrete to hold on to before I confronted her. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. Lydia left for work at 7:30, her routine as predictable as the sunrise. I called in sick, my voice hollow as I lied to my boss. I trailed her car, keeping my distance, my hands sweaty on the steering wheel. She didn't go to her office. Instead, she pulled into a coffee shop parking lot, one we used to visit together. I parked across the street, my pulse hammering as I watched her step out, her red coat a splash of color against the gray morning. She looked nervous, glancing around before heading inside. I waited, my breath fogging the windshield. 10 minutes later, a man walked in, tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair and a confident stride. My gut twisted. I didn't know him, but I knew he was Jay. I could feel it, like a sickness spreading through me. I wanted to storm in, to make a scene, but I stayed rooted, paralyzed by the fear of what I'd see. When they came out together, laughing, her hand brushing his arm, I felt something inside me break. She looked happy, happier than she'd been with me in months. I followed them to a hotel, a cheap one on the edge of town. They didn't see me, didn't notice the man unraveling in the car across the lot. I sat there for hours, my mind a battlefield of memories and doubts. Had I pushed her away? Was I not enough? The questions clawed at me, but they didn't change the truth. Lydia was living a secret life, and I was the fool left behind. When she came home that evening, I was waiting. The house was dark, the only light coming from the kitchen where I sat with her phone in my hand. She froze when she saw me, her smile fading. Matt. What's wrong? I held up the phone, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Who's Jay? Her face went pale, her eyes wide with panic. What are you talking about? Don't, I said, my voice cracking. Don't lie to me, Lydia. I saw the texts. I followed you today. I saw you with him. She sank into a chair, her hands trembling. Matt, I can explain. Explain. I laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in the quiet. Explain how you've been sneaking around, lying to my face? How you've been with someone else while I'm here, thinking we're building a life together. It's not what you think, she said, tears spilling down her cheeks. It's not an affair. Then what is it? I shouted, slamming the phone on the table. Because it sure as hell looks like you're cheating on me. She flinched, her voice barely a whisper. It's complicated. Jay is Jason. He's my brother. I froze, the words not making sense. Your brother? You don't have a brother, Lydia. You told me you were an only child. She looked away, her hands twisting in her lap. I lied. I have a brother. He's been in trouble. Prison, drugs, you name it. I didn't want you to know because I was ashamed. I thought you'd look at me differently. I stared at her, trying to process it. So you've been sneaking around with your brother? Why the secret meetings? Why the texts? He got out last month, she said, her voice shaking. He's trying to get clean, but he's struggling. I've been helping him, paying for his hotel, meeting him to talk. I didn't want you to worry, or to think I was mixed up in his mess. Why didn't you just tell me? I asked, my anger giving way to exhaustion. We're supposed to be partners, Lydia. I would have helped you. I know, she whispered. I was scared. I thought if you knew about Jason, you'd see me as tainted. Like my family's mess would make you love me less. Her words hit me like a punch. I wanted to believe her. But the lies had carved a chasm between us. You should have trusted me, I said. Instead, you made me feel like I'm nothing to you. You're everything to me, she said, reaching for my hand. I pulled away, the hurt too raw. I need time, I said, standing. I can't look at you right now. I left her there, crying at the kitchen table, and drove to a motel. The next few days were a blur of sleepless nights and endless questions. Was she telling the truth? Could I trust her again? I dug into her story, calling her office, checking records. Everything lined up. Jason existed, a half-brother she'd never mentioned, with a rap sheet to match her story. But the truth didn't erase the pain of her secrecy. A week later, I went home. Lydia was waiting, her eyes red from crying. I'm so sorry, Matt, she said. I'll do anything to fix this. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for a decade, and felt the weight of every moment we'd shared. I don't know if we can fix this, I said. But I'm willing to try. What I did next left her speechless. I pulled out a letter I'd written, pages filled with every raw, aching thought I'd had since that text lit up her phone. I read it to her, my voice breaking as I described the betrayal, the love, the hope I still clung to. I want us to start over, I said. No secrets, no lies. But you have to meet me halfway. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I will. I promise. We started therapy the next week, peeling back layers of hurt and mistrust. It wasn't easy. Some days I still saw that text in my mind, still felt the sting of her deception. But we really talked for the first time in years. She introduced me to Jason, a broken man trying to rebuild. And I saw the weight she'd carried alone. Our marriage isn't perfect. Trust is a fragile thing, slow to mend. But we're here, fighting for each other, one honest conversation at a time. And in the quiet moments, when she reaches for my hand and I don't pull away, I believe we might just make it.